welcome to the channel. Today we are going to be doing a how-to video. It's going to be very simple. What we're going to be doing is installing an Ion Filtration 2-stage water filter that's going to come straight off of our cold water and hook up into our water ionizer. If you haven't seen my previous video about how to install a feeder faucet for your water ionizer, go ahead and check that video out. So like I said, this is going to be a very straightforward process. So let's go ahead and jump straight into it. Okay, so this is what I'm going to be using for the install. I'm going to put a towel down just in case any water leaks out. I got a level that I'm going to put, which I'll show you how I'm going to get this leveled up. I'm going to use a socket drive for the hardware that I'm actually going to be using. And this, they don't send you any screws in there, but I'm deciding to go with these hex head, kind of like a shorter, beefier bolt. I'm going to use a drill bit to make a pilot hole, a drill. Then in your Ion Filtration water system, whichever one you get, a 1, a 2, or a 3 stage, this is kind of how it's going to come. This is a wall mount. It's going to have the hose that's going to be hooking up into your feeder, your feed side, which is your inlet side, coming straight from your cold water. We'll show you that when we get underneath the sink. You got a spanner tool that slips up underneath here. Again, I'll show you that once it's all fully installed, how to take that apart. It did come with these 290s. Right now, I just have them kind of like just hand tight in here so that I can go ahead and tighten them up the rest of the way whenever I figure out what kind of orientation I want to get it under there. So this is just kind of what you're looking at. Basically, you're going to be needing. And let's go ahead and get up underneath the sink and get this install started. Okay, so something I do want to do that's going to make it more manageable to mount this on the wall is I do want to take these filters off. And it's pretty basic because right here you got 8 screws, 4 that's holding each one on. So I'm just going to pop these off. So all we got to do is just deal with this mount underneath the sink. So see, just like that, and it leaves just your housing. And so this is going to be easy to deal with underneath there. Oh, hey, great, you're already underneath. So let's go ahead and get a measurement on this wall so we can get this install rolling. So what we want to do is we're going to take just our wall mount, a marker, and a level. And we're going to post it up on this wall. So I know I'm going to go on this wall right here. I want to go up pretty high just because I want to be able to put some, anything underneath it. I don't want to put it on the ground. And also you need to leave yourself room to take that filter off. If you put it too close to the ground, you can still get it, but you need to make sure, and I'll show you this once it gets hooked up, but just make sure you have it high enough so that you can actually get the filters off when you need to change them. So let's go ahead and get that level put on there. And I'm probably gonna go about right there. So that's looking about level. And if it's not completely level, I mean, I know there's a lot of perfectionists out there, but the gist is obviously get it as level as you can. The water pressure is going to flow through it regardless. I mean, obviously you don't want it tilted, and I mean, no one's seen it, but all right. So next step, we're going to go ahead and drill these holes, and I do have to be careful not to go too deep. And that's why I'm using the short, fatter screws, is because my dishwasher is on the other side of this wall. And so I got about an inch or so, about an inch and a half before I hit that dishwasher. All right, and now we got the holes drilled. I'm gonna go ahead and pre-install the hardware, because something I didn't mention was on the back of this where it mounts, you'll actually have a bigger space and then a smaller space And what that is because it allows the screws to go in there and then you can slide it into place. So it's pretty helpful. And actually I did drill these out just a little bit because I'm going with a washer style. So, and also I did grab another little attachment because it's gonna be easier just to use a drill that connects my socket bit to it. Just kind of get those started in there, and then we can tighten them up once we've got it mounted fully with the socket. Alright, now we got it mounted on there. I'm going to go ahead and just use the socket wrench to tighten them up the rest of the way. And there we go. Filters are on. All right, so earlier I was talking about the spanner tool and how this goes up here. It slides right on to your filters, and then you use it to loosen the filter. And then when the filters loosen, what I was talking about as well about giving yourself enough room to reinstall these, is you see they drop down, so they'll have plenty of room, but I just wanted it up a little bit higher. And then you change your filter and you can screw it right back in. And we'll grab our towel and get our towel laid down, because now what we're going to do is get the water system hooked up. In one of my previous videos, I showed how to install this T on the cold water supply that actually runs up to my feeder faucet on the top. So all we have to do is disconnect this hose right here, and that hose is going to end up connecting to the back right here. All right, just like that, it snaps out. Go ahead and tighten this fitting up with our hand, and I think that'll be tight enough. We'll always check for leaks at the end, make sure that we don't have any, and we can tighten up fittings accordingly. Now we have this hose right here that's probably going to end up needing to be cut, but we're going to go ahead and connect it, and then we're going to run it back around the front, and we're going to see, you know, if it's going to be too much or it's in the way. But let's just check it out. So the cool thing about these Ion faucet fittings is they're all just snapped. They snap right in. Super simple. They don't leak. Okay, now see, this is pretty long, but what I might end up doing is kind of hiding it like that. So I think what we're going to do is going to end up cutting it. And more than likely, I might just come straight into the top like this. All right, so I ended up cutting that and shortening it. So this is your inlet. It's gonna run through both of these filters and hit that outlet that goes up to our feeder faucet. Went ahead and lined the water back up. Like I said, it comes around, goes in. Very simple. Not seeing any leaks. I have the water lined up. So that's what the backside looks like. And I'm pretty happy with it. Very simple, quick install. And I'll go ahead and run the water. Still has great water pressure coming through. Go ahead and set this on 9.5 and get us a little bit of a hydrogen rich water for all the hard work we just did. just like that. Look at all that goodness in one glass. All right, now that's a wrap on the install. Thanks for following along and checking today's video out. If you like the content, give me a like. We got a lot of videos that are gonna be getting posted in the next few months on some trips that we're taking. I'm not gonna say where we're going, but you just check that out. Also, I will put a link in the description of what those filters were, because there's like 10 different types that you can really choose from. But I'll put a description below where you can purchase them. I'll put a description on our setup, our feeder faucet. Again, I really appreciate you tuning in to today's channel, and until next time, take it easy.